When I came back Hong Kong in 2006, I visited a Hong Kong NGO for human rights called SOGO. Mr. Jorge Wah and Mr. Wang Jiyuan met me at their office. While talking about my treatment in Chinese Embassy of Pakistan in 2004, they were shocked at the consul's behavior. They confirmed that China should treat the Hong Kong BNO as Chinese national after 1997. It was very important to the rights of 3 million Hong Kong BNOs. Any of them might have the same situation like me in Islamabad. I requested SOGO to hold a press conference and let Chinese government be aware of the case. Hong Kong media make reports about my story and comment on the Hong Kong BNO's rights by Sino-British Joint Declaration 1984.
What about the Chinese government reaction to Hong Kong media reports?
On the next day, Chinese government affirmed its memorandum policy on website that all Hong Kong BNOs are Chinese national. Hong Kong people have right to ask for help at any Chinese embassy or consulate overseas. I was very happy about this result. I was a victim of that consular who drove me out of the Chinese embassy. However, I stood up and made Hong Kong BNOs enjoy their rights and do by law.
Thank you, Jennifer. You have done a significant thing to Hong Kong BNO. How did you go to the United Nations?
I set up a website and educate human rights by case studies with law and proof. I hope to help victims to stand up for justice. American professor Pendley showed a great compassion to my torture and suffering. She said, "It is incredible, happened such horrible human rights violation." More ridiculous, the victim has not been registered in a member state of the UN Human Rights Council. In 2008, Mrs. Zhu and I were invited by Kentucky St. Catharine College as speakers for human rights exchange. They built a plate on campus in honor of my struggle for dignity and right.
Oh, it's great. I think this plate should have been made in Hong Kong first. Hong Kong government should have shown you more compassion and support. This plate shows that American people evaluate human rights.
I make a protest against Pakistani government in front of the UN building.
Pakistani government! Pakistani government! Give me human rights! I give me death! Give me human rights! I give me death!
New York police permit my activity and provide protection to me.
Wow, New York police are so nice.
I informed the media and let them report my case. My protest got attention of Madam Shirley Chesley, a NGO for human rights of United Nations. She was shocked by my torture and suffering in Pakistan. On July 30, 2008, UN NGO arranged me to attend an international conference on human rights, organized by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. This conference was live webcast with 6 million audience watching in the world. I took this opportunity to make questions about Optional Protocol, and my human rights violation in Pakistan.
A victim of abuse of power. Now I come to the New York from Hong Kong. Nearly 4 years ago, I suffered a great humiliation and suffering due to the horrible human rights violation committed against me by the law enforcement and the government officials of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. A member of the UN member state and a member of the UN Human Rights Council. My violations include arbitrary arrest, enforced disappearance, unlawful detention, violence against the woman, torture and inhuman treatment, and the racial discrimination, even murder attempt against my life by shooting. Now I have a question. I present my human rights violation to the United Nations, but the reply said that the United Nations cannot handle the case because the Pakistan has not signed the optional protocols, and the Pakistan has not made the declaration. Now I have two questions. Does the United Nations handle human rights violation either by the principle of the UN Charter and the human rights laws, or by the member state signature on the same optional protocols? Do these optional protocols override the UN Charter? The second question is, can the UN take care of the case and adopt effective action to terminate such horrible violence against a woman in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan? Now, I'm still on bail by the Pakistani falsifying criminal charge, and my trauma is still breathing. Please rescue me out of the 4 years lost in torture and humiliation. Please speak louder than words. Thank you so much, all of you.
Oh, Jennifer, you are great. I've never seen any Chinese woman could make a speech on human rights law of the United Nations. Your action must have upgraded Chinese image in the world. I feel proud of you.
Thank you. My speech got the attention of the Deputy Director of the Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights in New York. He invited me to his office and discussed my case. He accepted my case file and promised me to contact relevant parties. UN NGO also arranged other appointments with senior officials, such as Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, the UN Deputy Secretary General, and the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. The Queen Elizabeth even wrote me a letter to show her concern about my human rights violation in Pakistan.
Oh, this letter came from Buckingham Palace.
So did Prime Ministers Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. Mr. Ford Roosevelt, the grandson of U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt, is a lawyer for human rights. He encouraged me, Jennifer, never give up. There is justice in the world. American media reported my story.
Once she was there, she was scammed and then persecuted. She has tried every way to have someone listen, but is finding herself caught as almost like a pawn in a political standstill. No one seems to want to make the next move, and yet this could happen to any of us. Any of us could be in another country, and where would we find help if our human rights were violated? Jennifer ended up being abducted. She was dehumanized. She was disrobed in public. She was placed in an undisclosed location with no help. This could happen to me. I could be in another country. What would I do? I would expect to get help. But as Jennifer found out, she tried, and there was no help for her. So I really feel that the people of the world need to understand this story, and so that we can support each other. Any one of us could be a victim like Jennifer was. The true criminals need to be brought to justice, and that's all in the evidence. Jennifer's honor needs to be restored, and I believe that if her case is looked at, it's a very simple solution that they could come to. It's just a matter of the countries wanting to make the first move and say, let's do what is right.